Okay, I had a choice between a smooth off to the left where they've made a new track or the bumpy. That sort of tells you a lot about me. We're all of about 6 kilometres from home, so this is just a little track that heads into the bush. Anyone that has watched a few of the videos, you know I have a tendency to ignore keep out signs, and I'd rather use my own judgment. However, there is a no entry sign further up here, and this one I do obey, because this track runs behind the local shooting range, the target end, and even though there is a massive earthen bank there, I see no point in taking that risk. And of course, to the left we just passed an old oven type thing, so we still have those wankers that refuse to pay tipping fees. Oh, loose sand. So this is our first dead end. We can go a little bit further, and we will. It's a nice little drop down to the creek. Now, which side was the deepest on the sand? Well, we know we got through this side, no worries, so let's go this side. A little bit twitchy. As you can see, it's all sloping down to the left, so look for any loose material and avoid it. Again, we're just staying in eco. Mainly because I'm early in the ride, so I still have plenty of energy to throw. So there are a couple of little walking areas where you can get down to the creek, which is why they park here. Ooh. Front wheel dug in a little bit there. So we're getting to a fence and a gate. Oh, I say this has changed since that last lot of big rain. Oh, that has changed. Okay, we're going to have to take our chances down this side and then cut across. And oh, so this is our little local creek. Further up this creek there are platypus, but years ago they did a sighting survey to check out the wildlife. And I can see there is still water flowing there. Right, now I've assessed the risk and it's too fiddly. I'm walking. So I'd have to do a crossover here and then try and power up on all this loose stuff. And then that all slopes into that hole. It's even giving way underneath my feet as I'm pushing. Oh. As I say, I do this for fun, not to get hurt. So we can squeeze down this side. We're still well past the end of the shooting range. It's over to our right. And funnily enough, the defence training is pretty much the other side of the creek. The last video, there were a couple of explosions heard, and what I should explain is what happens is ammunition has a use by date, and what they do is they take it to the training range, make little piles of it and then detonate it, and they can make a very, very loud noise. Indeed, I've mentioned before where during one of those exercises I was anchored in a nearby inlet and my boat was vibrating on the water because of the shock wave that went through the earth and then up through the water. Plenty of birdsong. Okay, let's get out of here. I'll get back to you when I'm up in another part of the bush. That's the defence training. Well, they're about 6, maybe 7 kilometres to their boundary, and then that will be well on the property. As you can see, it's wet, which is why I stopped. Otherwise you get all the crap over the lens. I've already cleaned it a couple of times. On the bright side, the smouldering fires hopefully will go out today with the rain that is expected. And this goes to explain why I tend to wear parts out on the bike, because I'm not a fair weather rider. If I want to ride, I ride. Get back to you. We have just a light misty drizzle going on at the moment. We are coming down to this creek crossing. I'm guessing it should be low enough to easily cross. Yeah, I won't ride, but I'll walk. It's shallow on the right hand side, a little bit deeper in the middle there where the wheel ruts are. A good opportunity to wash some of the grit out of the thongs. Okay. Yeah. So I could have ridden that, but life goes on. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. Yep, going to be a wet old day, but I'm going to have fun. I assume I've got a few spots of rain on the lens. Bump up. I've just jumped up to active. Let's see if we can get a hill start. We're on gear 4. A little bit of wheel spin. And I've got water drops falling off my cap. A bit of crud in the brake discs, so squeeze those a couple of times, see if we can clear it. Okay, back to eco. So we're just plodding along around 18. I think that's what it was, because I've got rain all over my sunglasses. up the tour. Again, we're not doing it for speed, we're just going for the ease. Just take a little bit of effort out of the legs, because I'm still outbound. We've done 36 k's and I'm still outbound. Hoping to do at least 100, 120 today. Perfect conditions. I won't sweat too much. Which would explain why the bike keeps really ticking the odometer up. So by the end of today's ride we should be up around the 8,500 kilometres. I assume you're getting a very blurry view at the moment because I'm getting rain all over everything. So I shall let you go until the rain eases and I can keep a dry lens. Gotcha. So here we are in the forest, still a misty drizzle going on. Thought I'd show you not everything is fun in the forest. Warning, poison bait's laid here. It's ticked for wild dogs only. Sometimes they'll do the same setup for the feral pigs, but the target animals they have on their list are foxes, wild dogs, rabbits, feral pigs or feral cats. The bait for this was laid 2 days ago and it is for wild dogs. In other words, if you're up here walking, keep your dog on a leash, or better still, go away. Oh, he said, trying to get his way back out. Yeah, a lot of fine grit stuff getting through the derailleur, the brakes, so it's going to be a squeaky old ride, but as I said earlier, it will be a good ride. I'll get back to you if I get a break in the wet weather so you don't get soft focus. Gotcha. A few of them have already headed off to the right. And I am in a no-go zone, but it's a weekend. They rarely work weekends. So there we go, back to the Brumbies. So what distance is that? 10, 20, about 40 metres. And off they wander. And then we'll ride up past the rest of the logs. Get back to you. You may remember a few seconds ago I mentioned it was the weekend and they rarely work. I'm all of about 300 metres up that same road. So he's just cutting them to length. Or she. My eyesight's not that good from this distance. Anyway, this is a T intersection and I'm going to go that way, past the no entry signs. Catch ya. Just plodding along, heading home. Mind you, I've still got about 25, 28 kilometres to go, but oh, soft sand. We're up to tour. No, gone to active. That way I didn't have to do too much. The power was just there at the back wheel. Back to tour. And we'll go there. A bit squishy. Just missing the water. Right. Back to Rico. We've got 47%. Plenty to get me home. again, just plodding along about 19-20 k's an hour. Okay, up the tour. This is a little bit soft and loose and bouncy. Very bouncy. Missing all the large rocks. So again, not using the tour for acceleration or speed, but just to ease of maintaining the momentum back to eco. Saw a little web that was down around the throat. The reason I'm a little bit subdued down here, I've got a little bit of a pinched nerve in the back, so I don't want to hammer it too much. Whoa, Brumby. So where are the others? Or it's just you on your own? Where are they? Okay. No, it's the only one I saw. And they're coming back out. Oh, there we are, there's the family. Ma, Pa and the foal. So we'll ease right back, let them get away. Yep. So they've already disappeared, quite possibly gone bush. Oh yeah, up the tour. It's a little bit soft, a little bit uphill. I wouldn't call it loose because we've had that bit of rain that sort of lets the sand and dirt sort of pack in a little bit and hold on to itself. And as I've mentioned before, since I got the new tyre pump that doesn't have the gauge on it, I have no idea what pressure I have in these tyres, but I do know they're a lot higher pressure than they were. And you may remember I also had a bad run of punches where I kept pinching tubes even though I was well within the recommended pressure. So I'm guessing the pressure on these is now easy 40, 45 plus. And if you watch the videos, you know I also tend not to baby them. Well, let's be honest, I tend to torture them. Which is another reason why every so often you have to give a good glance over your tyres, looking for cuts and abrasions and tears. So we're still on tour. I may as well stay there because I do have a hill coming up here and I've got plenty of battery. Now you know I like the quirky, so what I'll point out is this track here comes up and around there and up there and then heads down and across to the fork, and here is our little creature. Last week or so we've had a bit of rain. Now I usually pick these up in the urban rides. I find them crawling over the frame after they get flicked up off a tyre. So I'm still on my way back from being in the bush, so I have no idea where I picked this one up. Anyway, come on. You're not the brightest worm because I was watching it as it came down onto the front fork and it dropped its head into the tyre a couple of times as it was rotating. This is where we are. That's our noise forecast. I assume today is the Saturday, moderate. We did have a few explosions earlier. So let's get back to you. Let's see if we can get a close-up. No. Oh, there we are. Anyway, I'll find somewhere safe for you to go, although that looks like you've got a bloody big worn patch in the middle. Unless that's just food moving its way through your body. Oh, hello. Anyway, I'll